as protest ban on adoration ministry, demand removal of Bishop of Enugu. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Gani Kairi Balogun. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. Let's begin in Borno State, where resurgence terrorist attacks are being unleashed. Members of the Islamic State of West African Province, ISWAP, have attacked humanitarian workers in Monguno local government area of Borno State. The terrorists killed 3 members of the Civilian Joint Task Force and abducted 3 humanitarian workers in the attack. The terrorists, who stormed the town through Mate, went straight to the compound housing the humanitarian workers and began shooting sporadically. Jide, it's been a while. I thought we're achieving, the needed peace. We are getting there. The peace needed in the Northeast. And it's been a while that I've heard about those funny villages I used to call. So Mate is one of them. So
yes, Mate, they've always retained some presence in Marte. Monguno, which is the farthest local government.
Is that the local government of the National Security Advisor?
Yes.
Okay.
That's his hometown. As I've said in the past, Monguno just stays on its own. Every town within the local government, people are not living in them, except that Monguno town. And the biggest IDP camp currently is there in Monguno with hundreds of thousands of people. So remember that even the federal government guest college, Monguno, they had to relocate it to the state capital for fear of students being abducted. We have the army garrison there. It's a garrison town. So, but the problem is the army base is not located inside the town. It is outside the town, So this time around, they came straight into the town and they were not detected, and they came in the night around 9 p.m. and they operated for hours. So they bypassed the army base and went straight into the town. In the past, they will first engage the army, keep the army busy, but they didn't do that. They bypassed the army base and went straight into the town. So this is the first time in a very long time that Boko Haram successfully entered inside Monguno town. They've always had to engage the military about 1 kilometer to the town. But this time around, they found a way to go straight into the town. That had not happened in a very long time. Even when they were attacking bases up and down, they didn't succeed in entering that town. It's very dangerous to have them enter a town where there's a big presence of humanitarian workers, because they don't like to see the humanitarian workers. In fact, they don't show mercy to humanitarian workers. Most of the time when they abduct them, they kill them. So this one is really strange to me. When I saw it and pictures of the civilian JTF vehicles that they destroyed, I was sure. I said, inside the town again. Unfortunately, no soldiers to resist them while the operation lasted, because apparently the soldiers had gone, they had retired to their barracks.
GKB, I wonder how they recruit people, because the number of people I saw last week as repentant Boko Haram terrorists, and men, this time, before, the time was mostly young boys, ladies, and everything, men, and so these people, they have a way of, pushing back, going underground and recalibrating.
Yeah. I think when I first saw this news item, my mind went straight to 2014. This is the kind of attack we used to get at that window, 2014, 2015.
Close to the election.
Where they go straight into town and cause mayhem. And make the military helpless.
We're taking territories then.
Yeah, and the same thing occurred to me last week with the Kaduna insurgent at the church as well. And they tied together to what is happening. What happened at Owo, where they now bypass known security outposts and go straight to their targets and cause mayhem. This is a new phase of the war, like you asked, because normally we expect them to have been, their threat ought to have been minimized by now. We've been doing this for almost 20 years. And by now we thought we have the hang of it, the hang of how they will handle it. But again, you cannot really run away from occasional attacks like this. The best thing now is for the way the army will respond and then show force. Because without doing that, it will just assume that what is meant to be the safest place in that area is now vulnerable to attack. And that to me is the danger of all this.
But picking up from what you said, that what is supposed to be, a town that's supposed to be the safest, I will tell you that in Borno North, elections were held in Monguno. People in Guzamala and all these places deemed thoroughly unsafe. They took them to Monguno to have their elections. And with a very big humanitarian, IDP camp there, you want to assume that that's an impregnable place, a place where they cannot go. But as we have seen with the attack in Dikwa, where we had a very big humanitarian hub, plenty of offices of humanitarian workers, they came and set everywhere ablaze after successfully destroying 2 army bases, attacked to the town.
How did they get
that was back then.
The soldiers, the fighters.
Well,
the more you kill them, the more they multiply.
You know, some of them are non-Nigerians. They are able to...
from neighboring countries.
Yes. These days, you know, there was a video that I saw when the Chadian troops attacked Boko Haram and took, arrested some of them. I saw the Chadian soldiers cutting the hair, the dreadlocks of one of the Boko Haram men that they arrested. And I'm like, saying our Kanuri man or Borno man, now him go get dreadlocks.
Yeah.
You also tell there are foreign fighters amongst them. I'm not saying we don't have our people. Our people are many, they are in the majority. But occasionally you see contract fighters, some of them cannot even speak any Nigerian language, coming in, you go to join them to beef up, Mali, and with money. Don't also forget,
Timbuktu.
Yes, coming from those, we are unfortunate that some of the countries not far away from us, they are not at peace. They can come from Mali into Niger Republic to Chad, and then to Nigeria, or even Niger Republic straight into Nigeria. Yeah. So these are the access. Yes, and then those Chadian
1,000 kilometers.
Those Chadian rebels too. Some of them are available. They're available if you can pay them. They're available to fight. Yes, just as we get weapons sometimes through them. So just as they get weapons sometimes through them, they also have fighters. They get fighters through them. So, as I've said in the past, it is dangerous to relax. That town should have been kept safe by barricading the entry points and all that.
All entry points.
Maybe now the military will change tactics and bear in mind that if you keep the town unguided, these guys could come at any time. That is what we have seen. This is not, it's not good at all. At a time when the governor is trying to relocate people to communities that are deemed safe, this kind of attacks will discourage people. We need more communities in Borno North to be inhabited by our people. There are far too many communities in Borno North that nobody is living in them. But if we keep hearing reports like this, it will discourage even people who would like to go back to their villages. As we speak, the speaker's local government, Guzamala local government, still nobody is living there. If you see anybody there, it must be a Boko Haram fighter.
Everybody in Maduguri.
No presence, no military presence, nothing.
They are now ghost towns. Yeah.
Because it's a very dangerous place. I think one of the worst cases of Nigerian army suffering casualties in the hands of Boko Haram happened in Gudun Bali, Zamala local government. You will even see there's an epitaph made in honor of the more than 100 soldiers that Boko Haram killed in that operation.
God.
So it's like, what do we do with a community like this? Even when it was rebuilt, they went back there to kill people and set ablaze the new buildings that Governor Shetima erected, including, I think, what the governor called Presidential Lodge at that time. They set everything ablaze. So now the town is desolate. Nobody is going there. When his father died, his father was buried in Maiduguri. That's the speaker. I'm sure he's watching me as I'm speaking. It can be that bad. It's not.
But unfortunate.
Yes, it's not what you can deny. He too has come out to say his town, as far as he's concerned, has not been liberated. He's been asking for a situation in which they can defend that town so that people can
go back.
there. Yes, but that has not happened.
All right. Like a hydra-headed monster that has defied pruning, fuel scarcity has resurfaced in some cities in Nigeria. In Lagos, the country's commercial nerve center, queues resurfaced in some filling stations along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Ikorodu Road, Ikoyi, and other areas this Monday. According to reports, the scarcity is caused by increased demand of petrol due to fears of that the federal government may remove fuel subsidies soon. The scarcity is also biting harder in cities like Abuja, the federal capital, and Oyo. A stitch in time is definitely required to arrest the situation before further degeneration. Jide, the contaminated fuel that was imported into the country ever since that episode in Abuja, I noticed in Abuja, the situation never subsided.
If not fully recovered.
Till now.
But so, now it's a lot worse. You know, why I find this dangerous is Lagos is where the depots are. Lagos is where everyone comes to lift fuel. We no longer send fuel to depots outside our country. I mean, outside
or through
Lagos,
those
through the
pipelines.
pipelines. We no longer do that because if we do that, those boys are waiting to siphon the thing. So now, even the depots, you know, are idle. President Buhari built many depots when he was Federal Commissioner for Petroleum. Built depots. He didn't build a refinery, contrary to what some people have told us. But he built fuel depots across the country. We go to many places, Kwenkwara, even in Suleja, you see huge depots. It was meant to help also that people don't all have to come to Lagos. But what do we see? Everyone comes to Lagos to lift fuel. Everyone comes. Some of them, it takes 3 days
littered all over
to get to some parts of the country.
Putting pressure on the infrastructure.
And to ensure that in spite of the pain of coming to Lagos and lifting, we have the same price across board.
Petroleum Equalization
Fund. They are complaining now that the tanker drivers are complaining now that they've not been paid. They were even threatening strike.
Yeah.
No, that's a separate issue.
That's what they said.
Now, when you have this situation, it's sometimes best to listen to the oil workers, the tanker drivers, the fuel marketers, rather than government. Government will tell you that, no, the situation is under control. We know how many times they told us the situation was under control after that contaminated fuel saga.
Yeah,
and it was not under control.
It took several weeks.
We know how they kept lying to us about the real problem in 2017 before that town hall meeting. Was it town hall? Or just that a public hearing where the marketer said, see, from this particular month of the year, supply had been tapered down. We then realized that because marketers were being owed any of them who had taken a loan from banks, they were then reluctant to go and bring, and the NNPC could not do it alone, so it affected supply. That was the cause of the scarcity at that time. Where I'm going is, what are the marketers saying now? They are telling us that supply has gone down in the last few days, yes. Now, where they cannot invent petrol, it is what is supplied to them that they will push to you and I.
From NNPC?
Yes. So
the major importer.
The major importer, they still, thank God we now know. In the past, they told us that they were the only ones doing it. But when that scandal happened, you and I
they now started mentioning names.
That they were not doing it alone. I was telling someone that I know a big marketer from northern Nigeria who had been importing. Despite the lies that, oh, they are now sole importer. They are not sole importer at all. A lot of things in the oil industry shrouded in mystery and deceit.
Not transparent.
So, yes, there's no transparency. Transparency is alien to them in that industry. Now, if the marketers are saying there is a problem of supply, then it suggests that we are in trouble. The thing could get worse. The problem had been there in Abuja. We didn't really take notice. But once it comes to Lagos, where the depots are, that means it's no longer a small problem.
The situation everywhere.
Because the closeness of Lagos to the depots, all those tank farms, Lagos is closer to them. And the fact that even the port, this is where everybody, this is where they bring all the imported listing. If Lagos experiences, and the biggest supply of petrol in Nigeria is to Lagos, by far the biggest.
The Lagos
consumption.
Yes, the consumption is highest in Lagos, so Lagos usually gets the highest volume supplied. Now, if Lagos is experiencing
shortfall,
yes, it means that it's not a small problem. Remember, even when Lagos had fully recovered from the contaminated fuel, others were still suffering. So if Lagos too is facing scarcity now, as we are beginning to see, then it means that this is a national problem again.
The peculiarity in Lagos, you know, it will ground traffic. You know, anytime you want to move, like if I want to go to Ikeja now, I can check the minutes or the hours it will take me from Google Maps to here. And the red line that I will see all through filling stations. And it's making life difficult in Lagos.
Most of them are even closed, which makes it worse. I think originally the point was that because a lot of people...
The ones I passed today along Ikeja, they were selling. But
a lot of people bought fuel yesterday, even on Saturday. I was in Ibadan yesterday, and there was fuel at the toll gates coming to Lagos. So the Lagos-Ibadan axis, according to them, consumes about 65% of whatever is produced or brought in to Nigeria. That's the hub of consumption. Petroleum in Nigeria. That's Lagos.
That's used to population, the number of cars,
number of industries,
generators, number of industry.
So that's the
filling station.
That's the hub of consumption. And normally they try as much as possible to protect that particular axis. So the moment I heard that there's problem at Apata, this is about the biggest depot outside Lagos, that they no longer dispense. I know the problem will come to Lagos, but I never expected it to be this rapid. I thought we will still have about 2-3 days supply to tidy up. But this morning, everybody just locked up, and only a few stations are really dispensing fuel. The problem we are going to face, like you said, that we are going to grant to a halt. And that, of course, is key, because once we do that, the area boys will come out. The hustlers
start selling adulterated ones, or
people will start getting angry. A little spark.
Okay, let's quickly take this call. Olushola Julius is calling us from Ibadan in Oyo State. How is the situation there, Shola?
Well, the situation here is not so pleasant. DK, good evening, sir. And Oga, good evening, sir. Now, Ayo, the situation here is not pleasant at all. and issues you see now virtually when you want to look at it, one of the ways Nigerians get enjoyment is this something will enjoy PMS, petroleum. But when immediately the price go up and you have scarcity or happens like that, it affects every facet of business virtually in all the country. So to me, Oyo State capital is not conducive, it's not good. Why? Because you know from somewhere to somewhere you have transport of 50 naira, 100 naira.
Could barely hear what Olushola said, his contribution, but I think he said the situation is not better.
And if it's this bad in Lagos,
Lagos,
it can't be.
It can't be any better.
As Lagos is the signal.
Okay, Jide, let's look at those that want to make gains of this. When you go to, filling stations that are not in strategic areas, maybe in trunk C roads that DPR cannot easily access. As I'm talking to you, they've adjusted this thing. What do they call it?
They're using calculator now.
They've adjusted it and their prices, and some are selling 280, some are selling 290, 300 because they know that they're not on the major expressway.
Yes. In any case, how many operatives do they even have? Even in the heart of Lagos, how many filling stations can they monitor? The filling stations that we have in Lagos and Ogun State, there are so many. So how many of them can you monitor? How many operatives do you have? That is the problem. That's the problem. So for these guys, it is boom time. Anytime there is scarcity, it's boom time. So they want to reap bountifully from it before the situation normalizes. They don't pray that it normalizes so that they can make their money. Look at Abuja. Virtually, I said I was coming from Karu in Abuja, and even women were the ones selling petrol by the roadside. In fact, that was something that I found interesting. The women were the ones selling. I said,
How can Republic of Benin?
How can women be the ones selling petrol by the roadside? Just a long stretch of road, just women alone, not men, just women. So when I brought up the matter on social media, people said, that's not the only place. Come to Kaduna, come to this state, come to that. I said, oh, many things that we took for granted that could never happen. In today's world, I mean, given the social problems that we face, those things are now happening. Anybody, even a 70-year-old woman can sell petrol by the roadside now. Yeah. It's that bad.
All right, moving on now. Let me take you to Ekiti State. The spirit of sportsmanship is a virtue that most politicians in Nigeria are yet to imbibe. The outcome of Saturday's governorship election in Ekiti State has brought that to the open again. The candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, in the election, Shegoni, and that of the Action Democratic Party, that's ADP, Kemi Elebute Hale, have rejected the results. They vowed to challenge the outcome at the tribunal. According to Oni, the result did not reflect the true decision of the people, as it was marred by financial inducements. Accepted the outcome in good faith. In a congratulatory letter, he personally signed. Kolawole conceded defeat and congratulated the winner and candidate of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Biodun Oyebanji. He said, power belongs to God, and he bestows it upon whoever he chooses. Quite instructive.
Yeah, he's correct, of course.
Let's the accusation of Shegoni.
Yeah.
Looking at it morally or legally speaking, I don't know how Shegoni intend to go to court to prove it that
people were induced.
People were induced across the 16 local government, because you know this saying in court at the tribunal, they will tell you that you need evidence that goes beyond reasonable doubt.
Yeah, the
so is how you're going to go to court to prove that is something we should wait for.
Yeah, it's going to be a novel. Something we've not done before. Because I expect that when he said he was going to court, I thought we had proof of how the papers were changed. But we all know that the way INEC operates now, that will be very difficult.
Almost foolproof.
Almost difficult for that.
Before the election or before the exercise that you can.
So if you
find anything
cannot
funny.
accuse them of distorting the process, you must look for an excuse. And of course, like you said, when you started, you pulled it back about the moral justification of Mr. Oni asking for this. It's a free country. He has the right to go to the tribunal with any excuse. It doesn't matter. I could say that don't forget during MKO years, somebody went to tribunal because MKO was wearing the agbada and he was campaigning.
Yeah,
That's
the,
how
the horse. Yeah.
he said that was campaigning and campaigning stopped 48 hours ago. So don't be surprised when you think something is flimsy. But so Yorubani and Kolomo is the one who now have to prove to us how it happened.
Okay, we take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more. This is Journalist Tanga. We'll be right back after this time out. Keep your dial locked.
Hello.
Please, I need a room to rent in your house.
Okay, where do you work?
I'm the nurse.
That means you won't owe me rent. Congratulations, young lady. You have yourself a house.
Well, thank you so much, sir. So, how much is the rent?
90,000 naira. Oh, but wait, where are you from?
I am from Akamata.
Akamata what? Akamata in my house? If you know how you got into my house, please get out right away. My spirit and that of Akamata people don't have anything to do together.
Sir, what have I done?
Your people from Akamata are known for bad things. That is what they represent, and you can't live in my house. Just get out right away.
What's going on?
Leave my house, young lady. Yes, our differences extend to our languages, culture, food, and even belief. But we are bound together by the cord of love. With one heart, with one voice, we will make Nigeria a hub of greatness, a place where the people live as one.
This message is brought to you from the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the UK government.
Every 1 hour, 86 migrants enter Lagos State. It is a beehive of activities. Every second counts in this city that never goes to sleep. There is always something to talk about. We go the extra mile to tell the story of Africa's 5th largest economy. We track happenings on land, on waterways, and in the air. We go against all odds to ensure that you are heard.
25% of the entire spread of Lagos is covered with water.
I'm Adedoja Salamadeni. I live in Lagos.
The National Assembly is a busy place. As the bastion of democracy, it is a place where bills are presented, motions debated, laws made, and the yearnings of the people are laid bare. Come with us as we take you through the workings of the National Assembly. We take you through plenary, committee meetings, and probes, all to ensure smooth working of the democratic process.
There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
voted as the best TV station of the year. TVC News breaks into the core of every event as they happen, following all nationwide big and impactful stories. Without the news from every perspective, covering every human angle. I am Veronica, bringing you the news you would want to watch.
Our planet, our home, threatened by man's activities with fears of mass extinction on the rise. On Green Angle, we examine the issues that affect our environment, seek solutions to put us on track to secure and restore a cleaner and greener world for generations to come.
Next week.
On TV, journalist hangout, I still have Babajide Kolade Otitoju in the house and GKB, that's Gani Kaidi Balogun. Jide, we saw it, but the bottom line is that our politicians, they are not, it's an extension of anybody's rights to go to court. But when it's crystal clear that, look, this process, there's nothing you can do about it. When I read the acceptance speech of Olabisi Kolawole, the concession speech of the candidate of the People's Democratic Party,
more painful to the person who came second, because he would tell himself that, oh, maybe I could have won. Maybe if this happened, maybe if this was put in place, I could have won. It's on rare occasions that you find someone like
Andy
Uba, who came third,
didn't win any local government,
didn't win a single local government, deceiving himself that the process was.
Till the Supreme Court had to.
The Supreme Court then showed that you were not even a candidate in the first place. The primaries that produced you as a candidate was a no event.
Supervised by Governor Biodun.
Yes. How governors will go and supervise a charade. How governors will go and supervise a non-event is what I don't understand. You bring these mighty governors, go and supervise. At the end of the day, they will watch, they themselves will go completely against rationality and ensure that a person who does not deserve to win is the winner. In the APC, there are people who see themselves as principalities. They see themselves as too big, to the point that it is the candidate or it is the aspirant that they want that must win a primary election. The big person in a state will say, this is my candidate. And they will skew everything in favor of that person. Whether it is a governor that they sent to supervise him or somebody bigger than a governor, it's still
that person.
Yes. They make it look like, okay, it's fait accompli, that this person must win. At the end of the day, the Supreme Court announced, all the courts, right, also said they didn't have a candidate. Andy Uba was not known to law as somebody who contested in that election. So yet he was the one who was the first to challenge it.
So he can't even go to the tribunal?
Well, how can he go now? How can he go? He was not part of that election.
You can't do something on
nothing.
Yes, he was not the candidate of the party. The party had no candidate. Governors, when they send them to organize such things, I mean, they should at least be able to think about their own good name and say, look,
stand on,
gentlemen, this is what we
level
want.
Playing field. And
what is the before that thing we were saying that primaries would not stand. They didn't listen. But it's a good thing that time showed that Andy Uba was not a candidate of the party, despite the fact that a governor supervised that non-event.
If you look at the figure, the tone.
If we even go into that, I don't
understand why.
Because look, it's clear that the figures were just written.
Yeah, they were written.
Because where were those people
on the election day?
Those tons of people that we saw. reflected in form of votes, where were they on election day? You know? So I sympathize with Shegun.
I think it's
decent man, honest man,
about going back to the government house.
Well loved and all that. But he's one of those people who are too decent for the kind of politics that we play.
Perfect gentleman.
One will not do what some people would rather do to take power. You know? So he tries his best. No, I won't do this.
For him, for a party, SDP, for him to even be
we've got to give him
second
credit.
position.
Yes, we've got to give him credit.
Look at when he joined the SDP.
Not long ago.
Not long ago. And I was able to
now,
move.
If Fayose had let Oni
emerge in PDP,
if he had not played the winner takes all kind of politics that we play here, maybe it would have been
closer than
yes, at least closer if he did not even win. We know that the coming of Asiwaju into the picture completely changed things. That was why even Governor Fayemi described him as the game changer. Asiwaju mounted the podium and said, gentlemen, no fight anymore. You need to support this person. It's significant, coming a few days to the election, for the presidential standard bearer of the party to lead 14 governors. 14 governors is a show of strength.
Massive.
At that point, I knew that, look, One will not be able to win the election because 14 governors, it's unprecedented for 14 governors to storm Ekiti to say this is our candidate. Whatever happened after that, including the buying of people's conscience and all that, it's painful. It's painful.
Kai Define is the chairman of the Governors Forum.
Yes, so he will be able to mobilize his colleagues. You know, and he did a good job of convincing Asiwaju that he had to come and give them that moral.
That was his first outing.
Stamp of validation.
Yes, so we have come to see vote buying as part of our political culture here. But it's a terrible, terrible thing. It just shows that our people, I don't know how to describe.
They've been so popularized.
Yeah, so popularized that they can't even say no.
Yes.
Somebody was saying, oh, that both the giver and the taker. I said, look, let's stop this nonsense.
Yeah.
Some of the journalists say both the taker and the giver are correct. How many of them will be handed a brown envelope and they will say no? Not to talk of people who do not know where their next meal will come from. I mean, it's a choice. One of them said, look, I'll take this money and I will invest it in my farm. It's the first time, it was in Ekiti, that I saw for the first time people who are given money.
And attaching their PVC.
Openly even showing it.
Yes, with their PVC. That
look at the video that went viral on Instagram.
Yeah.
Those girls jubilating that they were given money to vote. It had not been happening before. It's not as if vote buying is new. But
it's always shrouded in this kind of secrecy.
Yes.
And look at those guys, BFC want to go and, they want to go and bust.
It's not so brazen that they even film themselves announcing that, look, we were given money.
It's the level of poverty that we are.
I think, yes, I wanted, that's where I'm going to that. Yeah. Because for you to see, you know, there's so much weaponized poverty to the extent that, look, that day, there's no how you can, these guys cannot reject the money.
No, it was even against Yoruba culture to reject money.
No. So if somebody gives you ill-gotten money,
anyway,
in our culture
on a more serious note, I think what happened in Ekiti is a reflection of the level of poverty that people are going through. Because normally you expect that for you to stand on the truth and on integrity, you must be able to know where your next meal is coming from. But we have reached a stage that people, it's also in Ekiti 4 years ago, that we had the slogan,
No,
that was Ondo.
That was Ondo. We are neighbors, yeah. So for you to know the level of poverty that our people are going through, and unless that is solved, at least brought to a minimum, it will be very difficult to chase away vote buying as a strategy by politicians. It's that bad, because they know that every 4 years they will come in, and they may not see them again. Another 4 years.
Why should people
Babajide,
take money
that means
to choose their leader?
If you don't have money,
yes,
you can't win an election in Nigeria.
No, forget it.
You are done for.
Forget it.
I met somebody
billions.
today.
You need billions to win a governorship election.
I met a presidential candidate of one political party today, and I asked him, I said, look, now INEC, they've increased the number of polling units from 120,000 to 179,000 polling units across the country. Agents. Where are you, agents, as in polling units? Where are you going to get agents?
Agents for
179,000 polling units.
That's 179
people.
Minimum.
Yes. And if you decide to give them 20,000, where are you going to get it from?
Even if you give them 1,000 each.
Let's use 150. That'll be 3 million. Money.
Across the country, across the 774 local governments, 179,000 polling units.
The logistical challenge is huge. That's why it's no longer, look, it's only people with deep pockets that can win elections.
Come out and contest, yeah.
It's just not for everyone. And I can't imagine Nigerians taking money to elect their leaders. I mean, it makes no sense. It pollutes our democracy for people to be giving money to
do their civic
voters.
duties.
Yes.
They look at the level of poverty.
I know. And you know, it's a lot worse now because more and more Nigerians have sunk
into the poverty
market. More and more Nigerians, and the World Bank is predicting even greater doom. That this phase that we are going through with inflation skyrocketing, more people will go will sink deeper into poverty in our country. More people. And it means that more and more people will get desperate. Somebody who cannot be sure of where his next meal will come from, you now tell him to reject money.
That'll be difficult.
It will be difficult. It's a choice that he has to make. To either stay hungry or to solve that problem of hunger, even if it's momentarily.
Yeah.
So that is a choice that people have. And politicians are weaponizing it.
Seriously.
It's terrible. They don't even see anything wrong about it. Just going about their thing.
And finally, for a long time, the writing has been on the wall regarding the present predicament of the Catholic priest and the founder of Adoration Ministry, Enugu, Reverend Father Ejike Mbaka. But the vocal preacher refused to heed the signs. The Catholic authorities have banned church members from attending services at the Adoration Ministry. Following this, several followers of the outspoken Father Mbaka protested the ban on Sunday. The protesters also demanded removal of the Catholic Bishop of Enugu Diocese, Callistus Onaga, over the matter. The ban was born out of the scathing remarks by Father Mbaka against presidential candidates of the Labour Party, Peter Obi. Disagreement between the two men has been long in coming. Let's share the video of what could have triggered the animosity between Father Mbaka and Obi with you.
Brother, na one nwoke Governor gee ntị anyị ghọrọ ịghọrọ Chukwu aghụghọ nọrọ n'ihu ụmụ Chukwu a gwa Chukwu ihe ị ga-emeri ya. Okwute ndị Igbo. Oh, yeah, it means you don't want to do anything for God. Ihe a bụ aghụghọ nkịtị.
Father, even for the straight, as a nigga, I'm a project. I want to know about the project.
Okay, come to Roja Queta. My name have a political statement.
What am I a political statement? Only of not say my PTOB have never promised things and failed. I'm a fundamental Catholic. Even when I couldn't know can me. What am I got?
You can promise a Mary and Anambra. Praise the Lord. In your capacity and what God has done for you, Governor, get money, okay, get money, get into what's in our call here. God hates stinginess. Ihe m na-ekwe na m ekwe ka ọ tọọ gị ụtọ. A m ekwe ka ihe ga-azọ gị ndụ. Otherwise, gị na Atiku will fail. Okwu ebe a ga-epentiri gị okwu ọ bụrụ na ọ taa mbaka. Gee ntị. Ọ bụrụ na ị gara n'owere onye na-agwa gị okwu ọfụma, you can save your political destiny. 2019, unu amadị mgbe eme ọrụ amamadị ka esi mee election. Unu ama nghọta dị ka o si ga. Praise the living God. Ihe ga-eme nwanne nwoke na-eyi nwoke abịa baza, ọma nwa ma ọjị. Geenụ ntị, ama m ihe m na-akọ. Chere, biko. Geenụ ntị, geenụ ntị.
Sorry for the quality of that video, and that video was actually prelude to 2019 when Peter Obi was the running mate to Atiku Abubakar. And this God of man, you know, we call them men of God, but the way he was talking, the way he was addressing Peter Obi, and the man was trying to wriggle out of it. That, sir, let's, you know, but he kept insisting. He wanted to put him on the spot.
How can you come to this kind of bazaar and refuse to break ordinary kola nut? You know, the bazaars that they spend so much money. But he said he came and refused to break even kola nut. So he said all of that back then. But he came back to attack the same man and say he will never be president. I mean, Mbaka is not God. God can change things in an instant. You cannot determine that Obi can never be president. You are not his maker.
Even if God tells you he will never be the president, is it in public that you...
I'm not even sure God told him that. He just doesn't like the fact that the man doesn't give. That's the thing that, and it's not everybody that can be sharing money like that. Obi has never been like that. Even his own, he is too frugal for his own good. When he was governor, he denied himself so many things, just so as to be able to save money for the state. You know? So, if a governor will be going to buy petrol for his car
and
at filling stations.
Stop fuel dump in his
yes, and because he thought they were stealing through fuel dump, he was now patronizing filling stations and buying fuel. And he will be watching the yes to see how much they actually dispense.
The latest interview that I monitored was trying to say he was meant to go to Rwanda and somebody booked an hotel of $1,500 per night, and he said, no, I can't sleep there.
That's too high for him.
$1,500. Now, these people, the way, I don't know, the way we take religion in this country, and people take it hook, line, and sinker. It's coming from father, this coming from pastor, this, pastor, that, and I don't know.
Well, you have to understand that when our people when they relegated things that were given by our forefathers, they simply replaced it with those that came in. And our culture, of course, makes the divination almost absolute. Whatever you call it, makes it absolute, that they cannot lie. So they simply transferred that level of to the foreign religions. So those who are now representing as the figurehead of these things are now seen as demigods. So to me, that's of course because in a normal person will not listen to somebody who said, "This is what I will do. I'm ordained to become your president," and he didn't, and he still come back, and the church still thrives. Or somebody who said everybody should step aside, that they should now give it to him without contesting, knowing the law has closed. Yes. All that thing. And I said everybody else should stand back. God is the one now to take it. And people will still go there and believe.
Somebody who said he will be the 16th.
The 16th president.
And then you wonder,
win a primary election.
where do you put logic in all
reach out
this?
to delegates.
Huh? He didn't even score a single vote in the primaries. And you must win primaries before you can be president.
I think that person is still optimistic.
Even the one who said they should step aside said God has told him he's going to be interim president. And that they should step aside quietly and not to offend God or something along that line. There are people, of course, and I think, like we said earlier, this is a reflection of the poverty, the pauperization of our people, the dehumanization of our people, things that happen to them that take away their individuality, their ability to discern. Because fear.
They've been conquered.
Seriously, because fear is the greatest thing you can do. Fear of where your next meal is coming from. Fear of what's going to happen to your children. It's when you do this.
School fees.
School fees. As somebody now say, don't worry. Go and fast for 7 days. The money will miraculously come. Even no matter how smart you are. And they say, okay, what do I do? Maybe I should give this a try. That's why in most countries that are developing, the attendance in churches are dropping. Because the things you are going to pray for is already at your fingertips. Yes. You cannot pray for school fees when your child is being sponsored by the state. You cannot pray for power because the power is 24 hours. So things that force people out of their way to become religious.
But Reverend Father incurred the wrath of Nigerians, especially Obi's online followers and a lot of people. Yes. The backlash was unprecedented.
He didn't expect it, and I think that was the first time that he will be so massively resisted over his remarks. He's been getting away with this thing for
4 years now.
He now had to quickly apologize because those guys, they could even attack him if he's not careful. Because they are very aggressive. Some of them are even threatening people with death already. So he had to quickly apologize. And I like the comment of an archbishop of the Center, Luscious Catholic Church in Abuja. He said, priests should not allow the mass to become an occasion for drama, exaggerated enculturation, or trances that are purely political or mundane. People come to Jesus at mass to get spiritually nourished by the word and the bread of life and refreshed for the long, rough, and tough journey to heaven. To this end, approved Catholic adoration centers in Nigeria should really be for adoring Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament, not where to intimidate, manipulate, and extort people, or where a priest attempts to create a personality cult by careless and insensitive utterances and drama.
But they are aware of the adoration.
But maybe now they are trying to cut him to size.
Yes, I think
they are trying to bring him under control. I mean, it's embarrassing the church.
Because don't forget, the Catholic Church is about 2,000 years old. And they've seen all manners of characters coming through their ranks.
But this one, if he wants to become a politician, he should not be afraid to drop his cassock,
remove his
collar.
In Yame was a pastor, he was a reverend. Became a governor.
Yes, it's allowed.
Reverend Father
Aristide and the rest of them, they were pastors, they became politicians, they won election, they became president. So it's possible he can even become president himself. But you can't use the instrumentality of the pulpit to be harassing people and abusing them because they refuse to give you money. I mean, it's demeaning. It makes no sense. Maybe this will calm him down now, but the Reverend Father Mbaka that I know will still come back and
come back after some time.
He still come back. That in 2019 too, when he was criticized, he calmed down. He calmed down. But another electoral season came. He's back to his ways again.
I want to thank you, Osara.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you. And the maestro himself, GKB.
Welcome back.
BKO.
Welcome back.
We had fun in the Ekiti State.
I was denied the form.
But it was very peaceful.
Yes, and the turnout was impressive.
Yeah, it was very, very
I hope Shuntu will be similarly impressive in terms of turnout.
That's a little more delicate.
Okay. And that's our take today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcasts of the episode tonight at 11. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. You're watching ShopX TV, home to some of the most popular international brands in Africa, including Papa Chef, MyFit Jeans, Genie Bra, the Power XL Air Fryer, the NutriBullet, and more. ShopX TV has brought you the latest innovations in lifestyle, fitness, and cooking from across the globe, and we are now proud to introduce our biggest offer ever. ShopX TV is proud